Let's do the hand, let's do the hand. Okay? Good. Pencil. Okay, who else needs a pencil? Santiago needs a pencil. Here, Noah. Yes. Okay. You can not to do so. Behind, if you want, you can join this table so you're not alone. But you can sit in that one. Okay? Didn't you have a pencil? Yes? Okay. Cool. Alright. So for today, I want to start asking you the following. If I ask you about anything, alright, representative of the country we live in, Canada, what was the thing, or what would be the first thing that would come to your mind? One thing that is representative of Panama, what would be the first thing that would come to your mind? Right, Andy? Okay, Panama la Vieja would be good.
Panama flag and Jose?
The Panamanian flag and the national anthem?
Yes.
The national anthem, behind.
Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal. Alright, so, Santiago?
The tornillo.
Oh, okay, la tilde, very good. Abril?
Food.
Panamanian food, especially empanadas, because Abril can eat 4 empanadas at the same time, right? Sancocho, Dylan?
The puente of Las Americas.
Okay, the bridge of Las Americas, Santiago?
The sea, the beautiful sea.
Exactly, the beautiful sea, very good, okay. Now, Amador, very good. So, how much information do you know about these places or these representative things that you mentioned? But let's talk about what Andy said. Andy said, what do you say, Andy?
I said Panama la Vieja
Uh-huh.
and Amador.
How much do you know about Panama la Vieja and Amador? Just tell us one thing or one piece of information you know about them.
Then in Amador have a museum of things. Yeah.
Okay, so you can see in Amador a museum, according to Andy, where there are many antique things, right? Or antiques. Piero? Yes, very good. So somebody said something about the Panama Canal, right? Vihan, do you know anything about the Panama Canal?
That the Afonquillanos came to work on the Panama Canal.
Okay, yes, people from Las Antillas came to work in the construction of the Panama Canal. What else do we know about the Panama Canal, Piero?
That it connects Pacific with Atlantic.
Very good. There is a connection between the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. Alessandra?
That the people who lived there was from the island Jamaica.
Jamaica,
And
Barbados, Santiago?
So I know that the Panama Canal made a program take all this like the America.
Okay, exactly. It's what Piero said. It's a connection between Pacific and Atlantic, and as Santiago said, it's a shortcut for ships. Because if the Panama Canal didn't exist, then ships would have to go all the way down to Argentina to come up to the other side, right? Brazil, right? Abril?
That many countries use the canal for travel markets.
Many countries use the Panama Canal for moving their merchandise. That's good. Anything else that you want to say about the canal, Andres?
Yeah, it was owned by the French, the Americans, and then the
Okay, yeah, very good. It was owned by the French first, then it was owned by the Americans, people from the US, right? And now it is Panamanian. It's property of the Panamanian people, right? We have.
In USA, the cargo ships always pass from to the canal of Panama. That's why Donald Trump wants to get the Panama Canal.
Oh yeah. Can you say that again, Rehan?
That Donald Trump wants the Panama Canal because there's so much cargo ships passing the Panama Canal.
There are many cargo ships of the US passing through the Panama Canal, and what President Trump asserts is that the prices that the US pays for those cargo ships are higher than what the rest of the world pays, right? And maybe he doesn't understand that. It's not that there is a higher price for their ships, but it also depends on, or it actually depends on their cargo, right? The weight and the size. So I guess that what he wants is to save money, right? He wants a benefit, right? And he threatens just to save money, all right? So I'm asking you about that because today, oh, Peter, you wanted to say something, right?
I was going to ask if the USA people and like have a discount.
A discount.
A discount.
No, I don't think anyone has a discount. I think there is a treatment, right?
Yes.
There is a treaty. There is actually a treaty, right? And the treaty states that there should not be a higher fare for one country or the other one, right? I don't know much about the treaty. I know it's called Tratado de Neutralidad, de Neutralidad, yes. You can ask Mr. Griffith about that. But I understand that no country pays a higher fare, right? Just because they are, let's say, Bolivia and not the US, okay? So no one has a preference. Everyone is supposed to pay the same or what is fair for the service that the Panama Canal provides, okay? So this is what I want to do now. I am going to give Dylan and Piero some information about the Panama Canal. You please take one and pass to the rest of the people at your table. Ariel? Yeah, I mean, I don't know who Ariel is. Alright. Here you have more than, okay, you have one thing there, Andy? Yeah, you're gonna read. Okay, so check this out. Good, Alessandra. Thank you, Dylan. So what you have there is a short piece of text about the Panama Canal. And this piece of text, or this text is titled The Canal es Panameño, right? So let's listen to Andy. Andy, please read until wonder, alright? Engineering wonder. Go ahead.
The canal is Panama.
Huh?
A famous waterway that connects the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, is one of the most important trade routes in the world. Built in early
1900s.
The canal helps ships avoid the long and dangerous trip around South America. Many people visit Panama City, the capital of Panama City, and then wonder the lost.
Stop there, right until wonders. Now, people question. I forgot to ask you. Have you ever visited the Panama Canal?
Yes.
Yeah. You have
Movie
Okay.
or movie of no.
You did?
Then I know.
In first grade. Huh?
De domingo
Four.
yo iba fourth grade. No. I was in the first grade.
Okay. Fourth, right?
El domingo yo iba al canal con clase.
Oh, Sunday. All right. So. Oh, really? Okay. Now, Dihan. Thank you, Dihan. So check this out. In this, what Andy read, it is stated that many people visit Panama City, which is the capital of Panama, to go to the Panama Canal, right? So people say, if you come to Panama and you don't visit the canal, you didn't actually go to Panama. Alessandra?
And the most people that goes are like Americans.
Uh-huh.
And then we like people.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you mean retired people?
Yeah, retired.
Okay, very good. So, Santiago. Oh, I think Alessandra asked me first, but I wanted to add something. Like, if you go to the canal, right, it is impressive how everything works and everything operates in there naturally. What do I mean with that, right? The pools that function as reservations for water, or the pools that provide the water for, let's say, lifting the ship or receiving the water so the ship will go down. That's amazing. And that operates only with gravity, right? So you see that, for example, when a ship enters the canal, they may, lower the level so it exits on the other pair of locks at the same level of the sea. Because they can just go, let's say, they can start low and then they lift with water the ship and it exits, right, with a different height of the water. It's actually impressive. You should go there and see. Okay, so Alessandra will read from the locks on, up to the end.
The locks. Large tournaments that race and lower ships are especially exciting to watch. My uncle, a tour guide at the canal, always shares amazing facts with us. He once told us about Ferdinand de Lesseps, the French engineer, who first tried to build the canal. The Miraflores Lock, a popular viewing spot for tourists, has a museum and a platform to watch the ship pass through. Our guide, a cheerful woman with a bright yellow hat, answered all of our questions with a smile.
Okay, so there is something here mentioned about Ferdinand, Lesseps, right? Who was he? According to this, who was he?
It says he was
The uncle.
No, it says there.
He was a French engineer.
He was a French engineer
The
who
first
first,
thing he put in the Panama
who first tried to build the Panama Canal. Bihan, you want to say something?
Canal.
You want to read? Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you to please leave that topic about the Panama Canal, let's say, in freeze for a while. Let's leave it there waiting for us, right? And I want to continue with the next part that says a positives and a positive phrases, okay? There's an example in there which I want you to read. Behind is going to read it. It says, read the following sentence. It's numbered as one behind. Do you see it?
Yes. My
Read it.
favorite class starts at 2:30 on Thursday.
My favorite class starts at 2:30 on Thursdays. Alright? Let's suppose that Bihan says that to them. My favorite class starts at 2:30 on Thursdays. Dylan, is that sentence, is there anything wrong with that sentence when he says my favorite class starts at 2:30 on Thursdays? Is there anything wrong in there? No, there actually isn't anything wrong with that sentence.
Well, what class?
Exactly, that's the thing, okay? Although the sentence is not incorrect, no. Someone we're talking to can ask, what is your favorite class? Alright? So although it might not be necessary to say what your favorite class is, the person you're talking to may have a question, right? So if you want, bless you, bless you. So if you want to add that piece of information, you'll have to rewrite that sentence. Let's listen to Santiago, how the same sentence would be rewritten.
But we're trunks or
No. Just look at the bullet points. It's just my favorite class.
My favorite class, language arts, starts at 2:30 on Tuesday.
That's it, on Thursdays, right? So see that now the sentence, though it is a bit different only in the language arts phrase, right?
Yes.
That's the only difference. It's a bit more, or is more specific, alright? Why? Because not only I am saying that I have a favorite class that starts at 2:30, but I'm saying which that class is, okay? That, what you have in there, is what you call an appositive phrase. And now, here is going to read where it says that underlined phrase. Can you
That
read?
underlined phrase is known as an appositive. It helps you explain, relate, or clarify an idea. Appositive can often appear between commas.
Okay, important. What is the function of an appositive phrase according to what Piero read? 3 functions. It can explain, rename,
Or clarify.
or it can clarify. And in this sentence, the appositive phrase is clarifying. What is it clarifying? What the favorite subject is. Okay? What you're talking about exactly. Okay? So you use this phrase when you want to clarify, when you want to rename, when you want to explain. Right? And that phrase is called an appositive. Now, I believe, according to what Peter read, the appositive phrases often appear between commas. Bless you. So sometimes it is easy to identify them because they appear between commas. What are we going to do now? It says in here, can you add an appositive phrase to the following sentence? Rewrite it on the line below. So on the back, you have 2 lines in which I want you to rewrite that sentence adding an appositive phrase. Okay? Noita, can you please read the sentence?
Go back to the text about the capital of Colombia receives many tourists every year.
Okay, it says in there the capital of Colombia receives many tourists every year. How would you rewrite that same sentence? Adding or writing an appositive phrase. Piero?
The capital of Colombia, Medellín, Bogotá. Yay!
Yes, Piero. It's Bogota, not Medellin.
Bogotá, receive many tourists every year.
That's it. Very good.
So it will be like the capital of Colombia, Bogotá,
That's it. Receives many tourists every year. Alright? Just as Alexander. Yes, write it on the lines provided. The capital of Colombia, Bogota, Yeah, on the lines provided. I think I have, sorry, I think. The capital of Colombia, Bogota, receives many tourists every year. Now, people, when you use appositives in speech, right, you don't really need to say comma. We say them because we want to signal that there is a comma there, right? But usually when you speak, there should be a short pause in there. The capital of Colombia, Bogota, receives many tourists a year. You don't need to say comma, right? Okay, you write there, the capital of Colombia, Bogota, receives same phrase that you have in here, but now adding Bogota between the capital of Colombia and many tourists. Exactly. So yes, Santiago. Go ahead. Yes. Okay. So when you finish writing that sentence and using that appositive, right? Piero is going to read what you have to do. Piero, go ahead.
Go back to the text above the Panama Canal. Underline all the positive phrases that you find.
Okay, so I want you to use that sentence that you just rewrote and the previous example to locate or identify examples of appositives in the text about the Panama Canal. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that. After 5 minutes, we check how many appositive phrases you found. Alright? That understood, people?
Yes.
What are you going to do?
Underline the Teacher, it is necessary that it has the 2 commas or it can have a point.
Oh, sometimes the appositive is at the end of the sentence, so you're going to have a comma and a period at the end. Right?
I found one.
Can we do it like
Together? Okay, let's do something. I'll give you 5 minutes to do it individually and then we check together. Okay? Yes, Andres?
2 questions.
Go ahead.
Can the positive be like long?
Can the appositive be? How's that? Long, yes. It's a phrase, and a phrase can be many words together, okay? But not subject predicate, just a group of words together.
And it's never at the beginning of the sentence.
Not usually at the beginning of the sentence, yeah. Exactly. Famous waterway, the country of the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. That's one, okay? Underline only, yes, underline. 5 minutes, my people, okay? Capítulos Colombia, coma, coma, coma. Yes, you can do it. Coma, coma, Colombia is the capital. Capital of Colombia, Bogota, with capital too. Right, coma after Bogota. Receives many tourists every year. So you have to go back to this line, to this text, I'm sorry. Go back to this text and you read the text and you underline all the apostles that you find in there. So for example, this one, the capital of Colombia, Bogota, comma, comma, no? Okay, here there is a comma. So this is an apostrophe. Bogota is an apostrophe, alright? So what you need to do is to find apostrophes in here. Okay, this one, many people visit this is the apostrophe. Remember that the apostrophe, it says it can be found between commas, no? So not always what you found in commas is an apostrophe. You have to see if the phrase is renaming, explaining, or describing something, alright? So only this one, only this one. And what then? No, it cannot be because it says in here. Usually you find them between commas. Okay, look, the Panama Canal, a famous waterway that connects Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean, is one of the most important trade routes in the world. What is found between commas in there? So just write in here and you underline all this is an apostrophe. Why? Because all this is about the Panama Canal. Okay, so you find the authors. No, from the beginning of the comma. Right? Comma, comma. Remember, usually between commas, right? I'm coming, Alessandra. So you read again, and you find phrases like this in the text. They are apostrophes. Okay, you have to find phrases, famous. Where is that? Yeah, exactly. A famous waterway. Underline here. A famous waterway. Famous waterway. Yes. So you do like that. You can get help by Andres if you want. No, no, because what happens with apostrophes is that you must have the phrase should be describing or renaming what is before. So the canal is not renaming anything about the line. So this phrase is not explaining anything about this, right? So the canal helps ships avoid a long dangerous trip around South. Many people visit Panama City, the capital of Panama. What is the capital of Panama? So this one is telling you something about this. So this is an apostrophe, okay? Exactly, just that. That would be the goal. The locks, what are the locks? Large chambers that raise and lower ships. So this is the apostrophe as you see. Very good. The French, that's it. But not this one. It has to be, look at what the text tells you. Often between commas. You have to find information that is between commas. I'm coming here. I didn't put the champion, delete that. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes. Right?
Teachers.
Oh, this one, yes. Now, what I was telling Alessandra is that the apostrophe has to be describing what is before. If not, it is not an apostrophe. For example, many people visit Panama City, the capital of Panama. What is the capital of Panama? Panama City. So this phrase that I'm gonna just enclose by brackets, this phrase is telling you something about Panama City. This is an apostrophe. Okay? So, for example, that's it, only that. If you say this, the Panama Canal, a famous waterway that connects the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, right? What is a famous waterway connecting the Atlantic and Pacific? The Panama Canal. So this is about this. That is an apostrophe. No, because it is what you find between the commas. Only that. Okay. Are you done? Okay, we can check together. All right. Let's take a look. Okay. Go ahead. People, let's check together. All right. Tell me how many apostrophe phrases you found. Dina? Oh no, it's not for a grade. It's just for practice purposes. Okay. 7. Okay. So I'm gonna read. It says
7.
7.
Can I start reading?
7. Okay, let's see. The Panama Canal, a famous waterway that connects Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, is one of the most important trade routes. Thank you, Audrey. In the world. Is there any apostrophe in that sentence?
Yes.
Piero.
It's one of the most important trade routes in the world.
Is that the apostrophe?
Yes.
Now, guys, as an apostrophe phrase, phrases do not have verbs. Because if they have a verb, then you need a subject. That cannot be the apostrophe phrase. Which is the apostrophe phrase, Andy?
A famous waterway that connects the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean.
That's it. Why is that the apostrophe, Piero? Because that phrase is telling you something about the Panama Canal. Remember that the phrase mentions something about the word that is before. Alright?
We were talking about this.
The first one. The first sentence, right? The first one. So, famous waterway is telling you something about the Panama Canal. Alright? Noita, second sentence. Built in the early 1900s, the canal helps ships to avoid the long and dangerous trip around South America. Any apostrophe phrase in that sentence?
No.
No, there isn't anything there. Alright? Many people visit Panama City, the capital of Panama, to see this engineering wonder.
Yes, but just Panama City, the capital.
The capital of Panama is the second apostrophe. Alessandra, the locks, large chambers at race and lower ships are especially exciting to watch. Any apostrophe there?
Yes, the locks, large chambers, and raised and lower ships.
Exactly. Large chambers at race and lower ships. Let's listen to Dylan. Dylan, next. My uncle, a tour guide at the canal, always shares amazing facts with us. Any apostrophe there? Are you sure? Behind?
Yes.
Wait, let's give behind sometimes. Okay, sometimes.
A tour guide at the canal.
A tour guide at the canal.
My uncle.
Dylan, you do the next one. Now remember that the noun that is before the comma is not part of the phrase. The phrase starts right after you put the first comma. Okay? Dylan, next one. It says, he once told us about Ferdinand de Lesseps, the French engineer who first tried to build the canal. Is there anything there?
Yes.
Which one?
Ferdinand de Lesseps.
What is the phrase then?
French engineer.
Who first tried to build the canal. The Villa Flores Lodge, a popular viewing spot for tourists, has a museum and a platform to watch the ships. Yeah, ships pass through. Abrir
What?
any apostrophe there. Miraflores lots are popular viewing spot for tourists, has a museum and a platform to watch the ships pass through. Any apostrophe there?
A popular viewing spot for tourists.
A popular viewing spot for tourists. Very good. Exactly. Last, oh, Piero, go ahead.
Teacher, I have a question. In an apostrophe, we can have a verb. Why in the apostrophe that says the French engineer who first tried to build the canal?
Okay.
Is it both?
That's a good question. Pierre. You can have a verb as long as you have a subject. But the moment that we have a subject and a verb, that becomes a clause, okay? Or that may become a sentence. And a phrase and a clause, or a phrase and a sentence are different things, okay? In your case, you said that the phrase began with a verb. You cannot have a verb if there is no subject present. So in this sentence, it says the French engineer who is acting as a subject, right? Who tried to build the canal. So you cannot have a verb if you do not have a subject, all right?
Like who is?
In that case, it would be a pronoun. You need a subject or you need a word that acts as a subject. Andy, the last one. Our guide, a cheerful woman with a bright yellow hat, answered all the questions with a smile.
A cheerful woman with a bright yellow hat.
A cheerful woman with a bright yellow hat. Very good. That's the apostrophe. Guys, a cheerful woman with a bright yellow hat. Right? Cheerful woman with a bright yellow hat. Very good, Alessandra. Now, this is what I want to do with you as both a challenge and a homework, because we don't have more time to it, okay? Now, I wrote 5 phrases on the board. If you check the phrases, Piero, none of them has a verb. Why? Because they're just phrases, all right? They are not sentences, they are not complete ideas. This is what I want to do for tomorrow, for next week, okay? Now, I want you to do research on these 5 ideas, if you don't know. For example, the tallest waterfall on Earth. Do you know which one is the tallest waterfall on Earth?
No.
Sensation.
Sorry. Is the Niagara Falls.
Oh, Niagara's Fall. Abril. Oh, Abril is right. Abril says Angel Falls. It's actually the tallest. It's the tallest. Now, yeah, it's the tallest, but maybe Niagara's Fall is the biggest, but not the tallest. So you can say
I was between.
Angel Falls. Now check this out. If I say that, can that be a sentence?
No.
Of course not, because my sentence is a predicate and this doesn't have a predicate. So say the tallest waterfall, Angel Falls. Where is it? It's in Venezuela, right? Exactly, in Venezuela. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. For next class, I want you to bring me a sentence, just like this one, for each and every one of those phrases. You need to do research to know the answer to those phrases, and then you complete it with a predicate. For example, the smallest country, Santiago. You don't have the idols anymore, right? It is the smallest country, right? And I'm going to write in here Vatican City, right? Vatican City.
We could put like where the iPhone is.
Question. What can you use to complete that sentence?
Point.
Andres?
Where the Pope lives.
Okay, the smallest country, Vatican City. I'm going to write here is the home. Is home for the Pope, right? Is
And the biggest.
you did it.
And the biggest country, Russia.
Is home for the Pope, right? to do, we did already 2. You can do the next 3, right? The richest football player, you'll need to find out who he is. The biggest animal, and then the coldest place on earth, and then you write your own sentence, okay? If you know the answer now, don't tell me because I want you to write it in your notebook.
The richest football player actualmente.
Yes.
The biggest animal actualmente, like in history.
No, the biggest now, alright? The biggest or the richest at present, okay? So, yes, guys, we have 2 minutes before dismissal, so start packing up and get ready to leave, alright?